cheap-looking. I know, but the sales will fund the next 5 years of the Puppet Lab. Creativity has its price. Cora had founded the Walter Gray Puppet Lab in honor of her father, to provide fellowships to emerging avant-garde puppeteers. She signed the contract with reluctance and ran for the elevator. "Give my love to your dad," Alice called. Rosie struggled out the door of her house, carrying a large sheet cake decorated with her father's most famous puppet, Zeno, whose spiky hair she'd captured in sky-blue icing. Rosie's Sunday dress and even her heels felt tighter than the last time she'd tried them on. She handed her 5-year-old daughter Madison off to her ex, Gary. "Be good at Daddy's house, Madison." Madison bounced on her toes. "Save me a piece of cake. If it gets eaten, I'll make a new one just for you." Gary opened the passenger side door of his truck so Madison could scramble in. "Hey, how about we fool around after the party?" he said to Rosie. "What about your girlfriend?" she asked. "Amber don't have to know about it." "I can't. Jane wants us to pack up Dad's things. They're transferring him from assisted living to nursing care today." A few years earlier, Jane had moved their father into a gracious assisted living suite at the Bevins estate, putting a stop to his jumbled finances, missed medications, and him reporting his car stolen from various parking lots. The Bevins staff adored him and had covered for him as long as they could, but his dementia was progressing and he was losing bladder and bowel control. The director of nursing had decided he needed a higher level of care. "Jane's plan is to just not take him back to his suite after the party." Rosie shifted the cake on her hip. "He won't even remember." At Bevins, Jane fretted as guests began to show up for the party, until Rosie finally arrived. Breathless, Rosie set the cake on a table and checked her phone. "Cora's on her way from the airport. She should have come sooner." Zeno and friends had made Cora rich, not Jane. Cora should have been the one spending hours setting up the silly Zeno party decorations. An aide brought their father in, holding his elbow as he shuffled over to Jane and Rosie. Guests applauded, and he waved to them. He pointed with delight at the Zeno cake Rosie had made. "Look at that! Look at that! What not? His name is... "It's Zeno, Dad," Jane said impatiently. He was losing his words. Pencil had become that thing that is long that makes marks. Sandwich was that thing with bread and whatnot. Jane braced for the day when she would cease to be Jane and become that old girl who comes here and frowns. "Zeno, of course it is." Rosie led Walter to an armchair. "Have a seat, Dad, so people can come say hi." Cora swept in, smelling of winter. She went straight to Walter and kissed the top of his head. "Hi, Dad, sorry I'm late." Walter's face lit up. "About time," Jane said. "My flight was the last one they allowed out. Hoping the storm won't hit until the party's over." Cora shed her coat. Guests, including children, lined up to wish Walter a happy birthday. The reporter had prepared a montage of vintage clips that looped on a large screen behind the punch bowl. In blurry low definition, Walter's early wolf marionette chased Red Riding Hood. Jack climbed a beanstalk. A gypsy queen whispered a secret in her small daughter's ear. Walter's stringed weatherman, partly cloudy, mouthed off to the station's meteorologist, earning canned laughter. Then, vibrant in high definition, came the puppets from the most recent Zeno and Friends special. Live-handed and larged, they dwarfed the marionettes they had replaced. "Let's get some shots of Mr. Gray with you girls." The reporter grabbed a plush Zeno puppet from a little boy, showing off to Walter how he could sing the theme song to Zeno and Friends. "Jane, you're the eldest. Hold Zeno," the reporter instructed. His cameraman readied the shot. Jane wouldn't touch the puppet. "Let Cora hold it. She's the heir apparent." "Even better," the reporter said. Cora slipped her hand inside Zeno and made him wave to the crowd. Their father chortled. Rosie hovered off to the side. "Get in the frame, Rosie," Cora said, but Rosie's weight these days was above 300 pounds. She had to stand behind their father's chair so she didn't obscure him. Once the reporter and cameraman left with their footage, Cora returned the Zeno puppet to its tearful owner. More